We're back, exploring maps inspired by GM Construct. First up is Microconstruct by Icemaster. Guess that's it. Welcome to Video Game World Tours. Oh yeah, there's an even tinier construct over here. I like the bigger one though. This is Fenfox's Construct by Blue. I love the dichotomy of Construct likes. There's maps like this that remix the layout of Construct while keeping the aesthetic similar-ish. Compare that design style to maps like... well, we won't talk about that just yet. We'll cover that map last. That being said, I do really like this style. I don't know about you, but the textures of the original map are burned into my brain. I've been playing Garry's Mod off and on since at least 2009. This wall texture is what I see when I close my eyes. It's fun to see people use these textures and expand upon the existing construct. Or in this case, do something almost unrecognizable. I say almost because it still has that construct feel. It, of course, uses the same textures. Just pretend this isn't Blue. But even if the textures were wildly different, these buildings still feel construct-esque. What with the empty and spacious rooms and these windows. Though the details do make them unique, like this structure holding a dish. It even rotates around. Now that's some functionality. There's a building labeled Test Chamber here. Oh wow, you usually don't see Portal assets in Gmod maps. I guess it's because Portal textures are so strongly associated with that game. I look at these walls and floors and can't help but think of Portal. Though maybe that's what they were going for. I said in the Evo City video, and I'll say it again, map makers love putting torture chambers in their maps. And players love using them. It's just such a weird thing to think about taking a step back. Of course torture chambers are a trope in Gmod maps. There's nothing weird with that at all. Got a building that moves on a rail over here. This is crazy. I'm always impressed when a map is just the tiniest bit dynamic. And this map goes all out. At least by my standards. I don't know how crazy these maps can really get. There's this button and a small pit over here. I don't quite get what it's about. You press the button and the glass disappears for only a handful of frames. That's not long enough for any player to fall through. Though thinner physics objects can make it in time. Am I missing something? At this corner of the map, there is a tower you can climb up. I love a big, chunky ladder. There's nothing at the top, but it does give you a nice view. Even further in the corner is a little waterfall. No clipping up it reveals an interior area that you're not supposed to hang out in. The water even pushes you back. This reminds me of that one cave in Super Mario Sunshine's Bianco Hills that leads to a secret stage. I think I briefly talked about it in my second video on that game. I loved that spot, and I love this one too. Towards the other end of the map, there's a tall tower. Inside is wild. I can't remember seeing a Garry's Mod map with this kind of vibe. Are these Portal 2 textures? If so, that'd kind of explain it. It has an elevator, with selectable floors no less. I told you, this map is fancy. I don't know what one would do in this space, but I like it. Especially this floor, with this view out the window. There's a big ol' hole carved out of the earth. I don't really know what to make of this. There are no hints as to what could have caused it. It's just so distinct and yet seemingly has no context. Got a building here. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I like it. And of course, there's all this space surrounding the central area of the map. There's like a 50% chance any given construct like will have something like this. It turns these maps into construct flatgrass hybrids. So much space. I never know what to do with it all. My favorite spot on the map though. I don't think I've seen any map do this. Yerp, a bottomless pit. I mean, you can kinda see the bottom, but that's just a graphical error. It's supposed to feel like a bottomless pit. And when you jump in, it really does. You just keep falling. I've probably seen maps with pits before, but none really this deep. Plus, you don't die from fall damage. You only lose a measly 10 HP. Guess the only way to get back up is to killbind. Or maybe fight another player to the death. Person who dies gets to leave? Next is GM Construct Aero by Bardier21. This one doesn't have as much different layout-wise, but as you can see, the aesthetic definitely shifted. Now, I should say, I'm not the biggest Frutiger Aero fan out there. I never got sucked into following Frutiger Aero aesthetic Twitter accounts and listening to Frutiger Aero music compilation videos on YouTube. Even though I was born in the 90s and grew up through the period this style harkens back to, the nostalgia wave never really crashed over me. Though I can't say I don't get it. This is a nice look. The music that plays in this map is so calming. You aren't gonna hear it for too long because you know how YouTube is, but hopefully you get the idea by now. If you've watched some of my older tours, I'm sure you've heard me talk about how I love spots with green grass and blue skies. That's a huge part of this look. That, mixed with these super sleek buildings, it represents an ideal future. A nostalgia for thinking back to when you were younger and hoping that the future would look like this. In reality, the future turned out to be more like City 17. But that's the fun of Frutiger Aero. You get to kinda hide away in your younger self and ponder about the future that could have been. Maybe that could still be. This pool is basically the only addition layout-wise to the map, but it's a good choice. Water is a key feature of this aesthetic. As are these images. These represent a funny little subculture in the space, that being bizarre edits. Like, what even is this? Windows XP Lime Cola? Roblox? Lucky Star? This picture in particular is more like what you'd usually see in a Frutiger Aero edit. But it's funny seeing edits featuring references to a smaller community. You get to see subsections within a larger Frutiger Aero space. My favorite spot in this map is the secret room. A lot of the Frutiger Aero stuff doesn't really work for me nostalgia-wise, but this definitely does. I miss scrolling through TV guides. Oh, the buildings are insanely dark here. Basically no lights in any of them. I forgot to mention that. This is part horror map. Sheesh. GM Spicy Construct was created by It's Oleg. And in their own words, this map is very empty and unfinished. That's just how projects be sometimes. You start them with a lot of passion, you put some work in, then something else comes up and you move on. It's cool that they uploaded this though. Even unfinished maps can be interesting in their own ways. This definitely falls into the camp of unnecessarily big construct likes. Even in a hypothetical finished state, it most likely still would have been like this. I always get a kick out of these. Like, you can usually glean the purpose of a map just by looking at it. Some are for roleplay, some are for trouble in Terrorist Town, some are for just exploring, and then some are for something. I don't know what purpose this map serves. Maybe it's just for vibes. As a creator, sometimes you make things just for you, eschewing any sense of purpose in your work, almost rejecting a purpose, creating because you love the act of creation. That's the vibe I get from maps like this. These two big-ass pads, this building that doesn't even have an interior, or these tiny islands. I've been playing a lot of Half-Life lately, and that game really gets you thinking about level design. How everything in a level will have a purpose, whether it's to make you feel a certain way or do a certain something. There's clearly visible intent. If there's intent for these blocks in the water, I can't see it. I kinda love that in maps. I've said it before, but these are a window into the creator's soul. Like, if I was given a map file without these blocks in the water and was told to decorate this space, I wouldn't have done this. I'd throw some other random structure here. Even though it might not seem like it, these maps are art. There is intention behind every brushstroke and texture choice, and you peer into the map creator's brain by taking it all in. That's what I love about making these videos. Like this city over here, most of these buildings are unenterable, but they did include these incredibly tall buildings. It's like that one in Construct. If I ever made my own Construct-like, you would never see more of this building. Hell, I'd probably remove the original. I've always hated this thing. You see a lot of people do include it in their versions of the map, but I wouldn't. And that, alongside all the other creative choices I'd make, would make it wholly mine. Honestly, there's not a whole lot to show off in this map. I just wanted you to catch the vibe of it while I rambled for a bit. Before our final map of the video, we'll look at one more real quick. Nano GM Construct by Birdie Boy. Our final map of the video is great. I love construct-likes that take a premise and really run with it. Before we get to it though, consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a YouTube member if you like my stuff. I also got merch available at pretzel.cc. Even the tiniest bit of support means the world. I really appreciate it. YouTube's a dog-eat-dog world. I need all the support I can get. Anyway, this is GM Construct Renovation by... Oh wow, also made by Bardier21, the same person who made the Arrow map earlier. I literally just realized that as I looked up the creator of this map to credit them. If you remember back to the beginning of the video, I said maps like FenFox's Construct will change the layout a lot, but keep the general vibe of the map in check. Whereas maps like this completely change the vibe while keeping the layout. Mostly keeping the layout. Look, it's a spectrum. Arrow kept the map nearly one-to-one with the original Construct. This is a bit more loose in its adaptation, but a lot of the spaces are still recognizable. Like you turn around after spawning in and there's the building, just like in the original. Inside, there's a lot that's different. Like it's almost unrecognizable by itself. The size is off, the doorway that leads to the building next door is on a different wall, and there's all these props. Just from this screenshot right here, I bet you'd never guess this was inspired by this spot in GM Construct. But knowing it exists in the context of a reimagining, it makes sense. What the hell? Is that a bomb site? Is this secretly a Counter-Strike map? Just outside of this building, you'll notice a big deviation. An iconic piece of GM Construct. The opening to the garage you see as soon as you spawn in is not present in this map. It's such a bizarre... These ledges are too tall. It's such a bizarre sight. This whole space was transformed into a subway station. Ooh, look at this. A room you can sneak into. Spooky. I love the choice to take this part of the map in that direction. It's like I talked about earlier with these maps being insights into the creator's mind. Uniquely, they thought this side of the map would be good as a subway station. I can't say I would have thought of that. Oh, this is awesome. The little lights above the signs really elevate this space for me. Aw, how about that? A little advertisement for the Arrow map. I promise you, I didn't plan this out that I'd cover 2 maps by the same creator. It's neat how it worked out like that. I want to go back here and down this hallway. I love the aesthetic of long, unending hallways and massive facilities. Kind of like a Severance vibe, or the route Jax and Public and Doc Hammer take to get to Astro Base Go in that one Venture Bros Season 2 DVD bonus feature. Okay, I need to rein in my references, that was too much. This long-ass hallway that stretches out for a good bit. This is a nightmare location. I feel like I've seen this place in my dreams. A big drop takes you to the tracks. Unfortunately, there is not a secret room at the end of these tunnels. Up here is the building that usually has multiple floors. Not in this map, though. It does have a nice lobby, thankfully. Are these elevators? It seems to be the only way to climb the tower, but there's no buttons. Maybe that's a fancy company thing? Like the people at the front desk can open it? I don't know, I'm not a rich person. This door leads straight outside. Oh, I noticed a couple of these sprayed throughout the map. That's 2 level design tropes that you'd see from other games. The bomb sites from Counter-Strike, and now the Lambda caches from Half-Life. I don't know what to make of that. Aw, a little playground. Hey, this tic-tac-toe model is still missing that piece. Won't someone out there make it complete? Little bit of fall vibes. That's uncommon in these types of maps. Oh, this leads down to the subway. I like this space over here. Just a couple of benches. It'd be nice to sit and relax. Ooh, another one of these. I got a feeling it doesn't lead to much though. Yeah, it just loops around to the beginning. I don't have much else to say about this map. Except for one thing. I saved the best for last. It doesn't have that stupid building that I hate. It seems like in the context of this map, it's currently being built. But you know what? As long as I don't get to see it, I'll consider that a win. Hate that stupid thing. Thanks for watching, Pretizens. See you all next time.